So Laurel Wolf is an online interior design service. So clients are able to come to our site, set a budget, tell us about their space, upload photos, dimensions, and we actually offer full-service interior design, but 100% online. So you're able to pay a flat fee per room. So we offer our classic package, for example, for $149 per room. You then get matched with a professional interior designer who matches your style and your needs. And then you get to go through a really fun, collaborative, and iterative design process across our platform. So the designers will show you what it looks like. You're able to say, oh, I love the throw pillows, I hate the sofa. You go back and forth with your designer, and what you walk away with is a full design plan. So instructions for install, your final floor plan, a full design board showing you what everything's gonna look like, and most importantly, you can actually buy all the items on your shopping list through our site, all in one click, and we'll help you track shipping, delivery, all of that kind of information. So we just make interior design affordable and accessible for clients all over the country.
Can you share where the idea came from? Where was the aha moment?
The exact aha moment was I was in my car coming back from a very unproductive client meeting in Malibu. We live in Los Angeles, and so I had sat in over 2 hours of traffic where I had physical style boards, where I had hot glue gun samples of fabric and pictures and, you know, the old school way of presenting design to my clients. And I thought, you know what, I could have taken this time and I could have been working on other projects. I could have been, you know, building my brand, finding new customers. And instead I know I'm going to have a customer who's going to argue with me for this 8 hours or whatever it is at my designer hourly rate. And it just felt so broken. It felt so inefficient. And as a designer, I thought, you know what, if I had a way of streamlining the way I can work with my clients all in one place, and if there were a way for lots of designers to easily find new clients, then we would be able to not only change the way the current industry is structured, but we'd be able to actually offer a new service to a new market of people. And, you know, had this idea and thought, you know what, we're going to build a site, a destination where people, no matter their income, can come to us and connect with a professional, because the things in your home are expensive and your space actually matters so much more than even most people realize.
Yeah.
So, you know, our mission at Laurel and Wolf is to transform people's daily life experiences through the power of great interior design.
Yeah.
And so it was as a result of those experiences that we started down that journey.
I completely agree. I'm a big believer that your space is so important to how you live your life. So one of the questions I'm always interested in learning is, you've got this great aha moment. Where do you go from there? What are the first steps that you took to bring your idea to life?
So the first thing that I started doing immediately was just a ton of research. I started reading every book about how to get a startup off the ground. I was reading articles on, you know, all the major media outlets, and then I started what I joke is the LinkedIn stalking. So I literally just started emailing every friend of mine, every person I could ever think of that I thought may have worked at a startup or had been connected to someone who may have known someone who worked at a startup, just to start to learn, what does this process look like, and do I join an incubator or an accelerator? Do I try and find a co-founder? And just meeting with tons of people and getting a ton of advice and hearing the stories. And that really helped me shape what my next steps were going to be, because once I had a lot of information, I could then assess what felt like the best fit for, you know, launching my business.
What did you do to get the first clients to come on board?
We thought, okay, what is a group of people, or who are a group of people that have a very distinct need for designing a particular room? And I thought, oh, well, when women are pregnant, you have to design a nursery. And especially for first-time moms, the nursery, you just want it to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And so we had the idea to actually reach out to mom bloggers and vloggers and Instagrammers and see if we could actually work with them to design their nurseries. And that's how we got a lot of our early traction, and people started kind of hearing about us and chatting about us, because we got to work with some really fun mom channels on doing nurseries.
Oh, fun. That's so brilliant and so needed. Did you find any obstacles in not having a technical background? How did you overcome that?
You know, it's a combination of curiosity and a desire to constantly learn and evolve. I think for me, I really, even though I don't know how to code and I didn't know anything about product, I was fascinated because what I had this vision for at the end of the day was actually a tech product.
Right.
It is a service, but it happens 100% across the software that we've built. And so I got also really lucky in the sense that I found great partners early on who were very patient and who were good teachers. Our first employee, who is our lead architect, was excellent and continues to be excellent at breaking down what we're working on in a way that I can understand it. And the principles are not complicated. They're easy to grasp if they're explained in the right way. And so I've actually learned a lot by spending a lot of time with him, and I have now a much deeper understanding of what we're building and how, from an engineering perspective. Yeah. And then, I think what's great about my head of product, for example, is that I always joke she's the epic combination of right brain and left brain. Yeah. Former Bain consultant turned party planner turned product person. And I think if left to my own devices, I don't know that we would ever actually get anything built or out the door because I'd want to change our website every 2 weeks. And so what she brings to the table is, the discipline and the process and the rigor and the, obsession with the user and obsession with the designer in a different way than how I see it. And so I think that as you build a company, it's so important to find, exceptional people who can become good partners with you. Teamwork really is so important in building a business. And I've been really lucky in finding people who I could learn from and who could be good kind of a counterbalance to the way I see things and the way I push. So.
Yeah, that's great. So I think I'm definitely hearing that some of probably the best advice you would offer to someone is to surround yourself with good people and a strong team.
Yes.
I think that's really smart.
It's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, right, exactly. Is there any other advice that you would lend to someone who's here today or an aspiring entrepreneur about getting their idea off the ground?
I think the thing that's really interesting that I see and hear from earlier stage female entrepreneurs specifically in the early days is they say, well, we're not going to launch it because it's not done, or we're not going to launch it yet because it's not perfect, or we don't want to pitch to investors yet because maybe the deck could be a little bit better, a little bit more complete. The reality is that when you're building a business, especially, I say this to the team all the time, we're building something that's never been sold before. We're building something from the ground up. There's always going to be a better, a more perfect, a more finished, a more done state of the business. And by the time you reach that moment, then it's going to feel it's going to be nowhere near the level of what you want to push towards next. And so I think that being an entrepreneur is really about taking a giant flying leap off the side of the cliff. And you can't have that fear. You have to be able to roll with the punches. You have to be able to go out and launch something when it's not perfect, when it's not done, because it will never be perfect and it will never be done if you're doing it right.
Right.
So I think that, you always want to be innovating. You always want to be pushing and evolving. And so don't wait for that moment where you think, oh, it's perfect, it's done. Just go for it.
Yeah.
And you'll learn along the way.